What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about my 10 desert island albums. Now, if you're not familiar with this concept, it's basically if you're going to be stranded in the wilderness on an island somewhere for the rest of your life alone, what 10 albums would you bring with you? Now, for this, personally, I'm trying to get a little bit of everything that I like. So on the normal top 10 favorite albums list, I might have 2 or 3 albums by the same band, but thinking on this, I think one album from a band is plenty for me. So I try to pick a little bit of everything that I like. And it might be a little surprising, the certain albums that I pick from bands here, but it's just, what I'm thinking. And for this, I'm not going to put them in any particular order other than, release date. So the earliest album to the most modern, chronological there. And for this, it's got to be full-length studio albums, no live albums, no compilations. That's cheating. No greatest hits. Just real studio full-length albums. So without further ado, I'm going to start it off with the 1978 debut album from Van Halen, self-titled. Just absolutely amazing. Still sounds extremely fresh and awesome today with the production. Just everything is mixed and sounds so perfect. Ted Templeman did the producing on this. Just amazing sound. This was a very, groundbreaking album, of course. Eddie Van Halen, an absolute guitar wizard and mastermind. He's a legend, probably the best guitar player of all time. He pretty much paved the way for all the shred, epic guitar players that came after him in the 80s. Just love his playing, love his tone, his riffs, solos. It's all perfect. And this album, to me, is the best version of Van Halen. It's the best Van Halen album, so this is what I'm taking. Couple favorite songs. Atomic Punk's great, of course. On Fire, great underrated one, and I'm the One. But Ain't Talking About Love, too. Just probably one of the best riffs ever. But that is my first choice to take with me on the island. Next, I'm going to go with Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. Now this, over the years, my favorite Ozzy album has changed. At one point, I would have said Ultimate Sin is my favorite. Now at this point, Bark at the Moon's my favorite. I'm a Jake E. Lee guy. Love Randy, love Zach. But personally, I like Jake's playing the best. I like, again, the production and sound and mood on this album. Very dark and eerie. You can tell there, of course, kind of the horror theme with the werewolf, Bark at the Moon. I just love it. Of course, Ozzy is a legend. R.I.P. to him, passed away pretty recently. But love his voice. Very unique, good, powerful voice. Of course, the whole band was really great that he had at the time. Tommy Aldridge on the drums, who is a legendary drummer. Bob Daisley on bass. Don Airey keyboards. Jake E. Lee on guitar. Just fantastic album. The title track, one of my favorite songs ever. Love the riff. I love the solo, and then the outro solo as well is fantastic. But there's some really good underrated, somewhat deep tracks on this that, like a casual Ozzy fan might not know, but maybe like Waiting for Darkness, Center of Eternity. Really great stuff. Rock and Roll Rebels, another favorite. But this is my second choice from 1983, Bark at the Moon. Set that down there. Now from 1984, it's the band I have up there. I've got the tattoo. It's W.A.S.P. I'm going to go with their self-titled debut. To me, most consistent W.A.S.P. album, best W.A.S.P. album. Blackie, he has maybe the most unique and best, my favorite, voice of all time. Just love how it sounds, in all aspects and styles that he sings in. Just very cool. The whole band, really cool on this album as well. Tony Richards on the drums. It was the only album to feature him. Randy Piper. A lot of times in my head when I'm about to say Randy Piper, I just think Roddy Piper, the wrestler. I got to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. But yeah, Randy Piper, great guitar player on their first 2 albums. And of course, Chris Holmes, Mean Man. But yeah, they got that cool look there. Really great band, one of my favorites. I've talked about this album a lot on the channel. It's just a timeless classic. I Want to Be Somebody, Love Machine, Hellion, and probably Torture Never Stops are my favorites, but all these songs, fantastic. Now, the next one, this was really tough to choose these, obviously, thinking on this, but I'm going to go with Cinderella, Night Songs. It's another one that it's similar to W.A.S.P, as what the genre is, but I think this is a bit more bluesy and on the hard rock side, and I think W.A.S.P is more just traditional metal. But Cinderella, great bluesy hard rock that's in that glam metal, you know, umbrella from the 80s, or hair metal or whatever. But very hard rocking album. Great vocals again from Tom Kiefer. Fantastic musician. Fred Corey on the drums, Eric Brittingham on bass, and Jeff LaBar, R.I.P. to him as well, on lead guitar on this album. Really good stuff. It's a debut album that, you know, was really great. One of the best debut albums of all time again. Same with W.A.S.P. But the title track's great. Nobody's Fool is one of my favorite ballads of all time. Just a really great song. Once Around the Ride. There's a lot of really good underrated songs on here. Like Somebody Save Me, Shake Me, and Nobody's Fool are like the bigger hits from the album that were more known. But Once Around the Ride, Push Push, Back Home Again, these are all really great songs. Hell on Wheels, really hard rock and good one. So that is my fourth choice, I believe. Yeah, fourth. We're at 4 so far. Now the next one, we are going to take a bit of a jump. I'm going to go to Painkiller as my 5th choice here. Painkiller, Judas Priest, is just an amazing album. This is them at their very best. It's their most consistent album. I've got the Defenders of the Faith shirt on, which, you know, would be a pretty good choice as well. But for me, I just love Painkiller. They took it to another level. You know, Turbo, they went pop metal, kind of the glam metal route. It's not a bad album at all. But then they started kind of shifting back to the heavier, more aggressive stuff a little bit on Ram It Down. Some of it you can like hear tints of what was to come on Painkiller. Then you got Painkiller, which is just a beast of an album. They got Scott Travis from Racer X, who's an amazing drummer. You know, they just went aggressive, heavy, speed metal style on this album. Just awesome. The title tracks, possibly, you know, it's a top 5 song of all time for me. This is a top 5 album. But the title track's great. Hell Patrol, Metal Meltdown, probably, I'd say, Nightcrawler as well, are a couple favorites. But again, very consistent. Love Glenn and KK, one of the best guitar duos of all time. And Rob Halford, of course, is one of the best, most powerful voices ever. Now, the next one I'm going to go with, my sixth album, or whatever. I've got Megadeth, and in the past, obviously, I've said Rust in Peace is my favorite album, but Megadeth's my favorite band, so you can't go wrong with any of their stuff pretty much for me. And the way I'm looking at it is I want the most bang for my buck. This album, it's longer, it's got more songs. Euthanasia, this is what my choice is for Megadeth that I'm taking from 1994. So instead of Rust in Peace, Euthanasia, it's just longer, it's got more songs. You know, I think maybe just in the long run, over years, if I was stranded out there, I would just like listening to this more because it's more songs and whatnot. It's still got my favorite lineup from Rust, obviously, Nick Menza, Marty Friedman, David Ellefson, and of course, Dave Mustaine. But this is a super consistent, great album. It's still very heavy. There's nothing wrong with it. I really love this album, just in general. The Reckoning Day, the Open It Up's great. Victory's a really cool underrated song. Black Curtain's a really heavy one. It's got the ballad A Tous les Mondes, which is pretty good, honestly. And probably my favorite song on the album is The Killing Road. But all of them are great. This is the album I want to bring with me, just for that reason, that it's longer, there's more songs, I get a little bit more out of it, you know, in this scenario. Next up, I'm going to go with Death, Symbolic, to get a little bit of death metal in there. I've got, you know, some thrash, some speed, heavy, traditional. I've got classic hard rock. Now I got some death metal. Death, Symbolic. I think this is the best death metal album of all time. You know, it's a popular choice. You know, it might not be, yeah, you know, a great underground choice or any of this stuff, you know, but it just undoubtedly, you cannot deny, it's just a fantastic album. Chuck Schuldiner, all the albums he put together with Death were fantastic. Control Denied, another album that he did even under a different name that was a little bit different of a style, was fantastic as well. The guy was just a genius musician, fantastic guitar player, really good death metal vocalist. Love his vocals here. But top to bottom, this album is extremely consistent, not a weak moment on it. The technicality, the progressiveness on this, just the aggression, it's all fantastic. Title track, A Thousand Eyes is awesome. And probably Misanthrope or Crystal Mountain are my favorites. But again, you cannot go wrong with any of these songs. fantastic musicianship, playing, songwriting. It's all great on this album. So I had to pick it to bring with me. Now, next, you know what? I went out of order a little bit, I will say, because I don't have this album. I knew I might do this, but I'm not going to redo it. But we're going to go back to 1992. So we're just going back a few years. Still continuing this. I'm going to go with Dirt by Alice in Chains. This is another one. It's a little bit different. You know, I'm trying to get the variety here a bit. It's got, you know, a dark feel. It's kind of like alternative metal and hard rock and heavy metal. You know, they're labeled as grunge, but to me, they're just way heavier and darker and better than any other grunge band. But for me, for Alice in Chains, I've always been a big fan. I love the first album, Facelift, but just overall, I think Dirt is slightly better at this point, and that's the one I want to bring. You know, I thought I had this album on some sort of physical format, but I guess I don't. I've got all their other stuff from the 90s, the EPs and the full lengths they put out, but I don't have Dirt for some reason. But it's fantastic. Love Jerry Cantrell's guitar playing. He's a great singer as well. He adds to the backing vocals that, you know, the harmonizations that they do so well with Lane Staley. Lane, one of the best, most powerful voices ever. Just very haunting when he gets into the dark, slower stuff. Just really great from him. A couple favorite songs on this one. Damn That River, Them Bones, Angry Chair is a super awesome one. Wood. Really consistent, good album, so that's another one that I wanted to bring. Now, jumping ahead, that was 92. Then we had Megadeth, Youthanasia, 94. 95 was Symbolic by Death. Now we're going to jump all the way up to 2010 for some black metal, Ominous Doctrines of the Perpetual Mystical Macrocosm. Very long title by Inquisition, which is my favorite black metal band. Fantastic. Their whole discography is awesome. And in the past, I wouldn't have said this is my favorite album by them, but over time, it's grown on me a lot. Very spacey and kind of cosmic. This one, the production's a little bit better than some of their earlier stuff. It's not as raw, but it's still very heavy, very aggressive at times, but also very melodic. The riffs are huge and big and amazing. The drumming, the blast beats from Incubus are amazing, and the riffs from this guy, Dagon, are just otherworldly. They're so good, very catchy, mesmerizing. Love Astral Path to Supreme Majesties to open it up. That's probably the best song on the album, but all of it's really good. Command of the Dark Crown, Desolate Funeral Chant is like a really kind of doomy song. It's almost like doom metal, but it's black metal at the same time, and just very, very haunting and evil and dark. But yeah, all this stuff's great. Upon the Fire Winged Demons, a really great song as well, and all of it. So Inquisition, Ominous Doctrines, another one I'm bringing. And the last choice for me, this one, Mana by Unto Others, or when they released it, they were the band was named Idle Hands, but they had some lawsuit or something, had to change their name. So this album, it's their debut from 2019. I think it's a really cool and unique sounding album and band. Just they kind of blend a couple of styles. They blend some goth and new wave style almost with you know, just classic traditional metal, and it just works very well the way they blend these styles together. Just very dark, haunting vocals from their frontman Gabriel Franco. The songs, you know, I've got a couple of them here. I got Nightfall, Cosmic Overdrive, and Give Me to the Night as my favorites. But again, they're all very good. And if you don't know this album, I highly recommend it if you like, you know, just if you like Iron Maiden, if you like any kind of melodic, you know, kind of gothic black metal as well. Kind of like, I think of them as almost being a blend of like Cradle of Filth, Iron Maiden, a couple of bands like that. Just really cool sound that I highly recommend. But Mana, Unto Others, that's my last choice to bring on the island with me out in the wilderness. Those are my 10 albums that I'd bring. Let me know what 10 albums you would bring. Let me know what you thought about my choices. And until next time, thank y'all for watching.